Hello everyone, my name is Scott Griffin. I'm with Carlson Software. I'm the Director of Sales. And today I want to do a quick overview of some new enhancements that's going to be coming out in the 2014 release. So let's go ahead and close out of this. And let's go into Carlson 2014. One of the first things that I want to go into is that are in Field to Finish, which if I go into Carlson Survey, Draw Field to Finish, one of the things that you'll notice, it looks a little bit different in here. So when I pick Edit Codes, we have now Tree Setup inside of this box, and we have a new command, which is Pipe Setup. So let me go through the tree setup here. On the tree setup is you can set up an ID for like 100, or if you want to start off at 1,000. It'll draw the tree table. It'll draw the circle for the tree diameter. So the tree diameter, so if you got a 10-inch tree, it'll draw the circle 10 inches. It'll draw the tree symbol for the drip radius. So it'll actually expand out to the drip radius there. You can also set up some GIS attributes in here for certain tags. So that's the tree part of it. Now the pipe setup, this is where you're able to label the pipe length, and we have options for above or below, label the pipe size, label the pipe material, label the pipe slope, pipe size. But one of the really good features that I think in here is the draw pipe type. So I can do 3D faces here that actually draws a cylinder, a 3D cylinder of the existing pipe that's there. Now this could be used from the engineer to know where conflicts may come out. This could take the surveyor to another level as far as being able to show detection of existing pipes and be able to present this to the engineers. You can also do a 2D polyline, 3D. We've got the double width, and we got the dash width there. So, and we have other settings in here as far as draw pipe thicknesses. So this is a command here that as your Field to Finish person, they definitely need to start looking at the pipe setup. Now, one of the things when you do the pipe setup in here is that you need to come in here and where it says feature type, you need to set that to pipe. If you're doing trees, you need to set it for trees. Okay, so really that's the only command that you need to set for any of your pipe structures. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the code table settings because we have a new special code, and it's called photo. What the photo special code is going to allow you to do is to take a picture of a point, and then in the actual code itself, and I'll show you when we edit our points here, so that you can see what the points look like, that you can add a picture and you can drag your mouse across of it and a picture pops up in the left corner. So let me pick OK here. Pick OK here. Let's go ahead and exit. We'll save it there. Now, report codes. If I come into report codes and points, I'm going to do a tree report here. So guys that are doing tree surveys, this is very critical for you. If I pick OK, you can set this up any way that you want. You can copy things back and forth. You can remove them, pick them, and you can add it. You can move them up. So I can have tree ID. I can have the name of it. I could have the trunk diameter and the canopy radius, or I can remove any of these. The one thing to get this to come back in CAD properly for you is you need to pick Table Entity. So when I pick Table Entity, it'll tell me once I exit, it'll place the table in the CAD drawing. So I hit OK. I hit Exit here, pick OK, and it asks me down in the command prompt, create tree table, which I'll pick yes. And it's going to ask me to pick a location, which I was zoomed out earlier, so I'm just going to pick a point there. And it starts, it's going to ask me for the location of the table, so I pick a point here. And in here, I get another box that comes up that I can add like color for totals, my header. I can give width sizes, and I can edit each one of these. And I can do center alignments on these, or left side or right side. So let me just show you what it looks like here. Pick OK. So if I look at this, this is my tree table that comes up, and this is a pine tree. It gives me the trunk diameter and the canopy radius here and the tree ID number. Now, we also, if I come back over here, it'll let you know that this tree ID number is T106 here. And then it gives me the radius of that tree right here. And these actually are 3D symbols that are brought back inside of CAD. So that was the tree tables and being able to do tree surveys. The part that I was talking about with pipes, take a look at this, is it actually connected my pipe, it labeled it, and it connected it to this structure, and then it went to the outfall right here with my 3D head wall. And it has it labeled as far as the percent slope and the size of the pipe. So that is some good information for you guys to be able to see and to be able to pass on. Now, another thing I did was there's a fire hydrant right here. So if I go to points, edit points, the way I got the fire hydrant to show up was I did the new code photo, and then I did fh.jpg because that was the name of the JPEG file, or the picture was fh. So as long as you have that .jpg or .png or whatever you use right after the photo command, I don't put a space in between there, it's photo fh.jpg. So if I exit this, and I go to the GIS, and I go to the Image Document Inspector. When I cross over that, you can see the picture pop up over here on the left side. So when I cross over that, it shows me a picture of what that fire hydrant actually looks like. So that's something that is new in 2014 inside of Field to Finish, the pipes, being able to do the trees. And then let's take a look at some other things here where this information, if I go to View and I go to the 3D Viewer window, all of this information is in 3D. Something else new in 2014 in the Viewer is instead of pulling up, you can pull up or you can pull down, and you can see I've got 2D and I've got 3D here. I'll get rid of the 2D information, zero information here. But what this allows me to do is I can see my information in 3D, which is very good. And I can rotate it. But if you notice, for me to rotate, I pick down at the bottom and I push up, which is different than 2013. And we can zoom it right into here, and I can see my 3D cylinders on my pipes. I can see my head walls, I can see my fire hydrant, and my 3D trees there. So pretty much surveying-wise, you can survey completely into 3D, and you can go from in the field back to the office and get a very nice 3D picture. All right, let me go ahead and exit out of this. And let's go over some other things here. We now support annotative text. So for the AutoCAD users, if I go to Carlson Configure and I go to General Settings, I can check on use annotative text so that when the text is in one drawing scale, maybe a 50 scale, and then you take it to another drawing scale in a viewport, which is at 20 scale, it will size that text for you automatically. So that's something that's new in 2014, is being able to use the capabilities of AutoCAD with their annotative text. With the points, if I go to point defaults, I can now check on and use annotative points. So if I'm zoomed in, let's say in a layout area on some points, and it's at a 10 scale where the project's at 100 scale, it's going to automatically scale those points for you. So we do have annotative points now in the software, which is a good feature. All right, and then we do support AutoCAD 2014. It can be AutoCAD. It can be not Land Desktop, but Civil 3D, AutoCAD Map, pretty much any type of AutoCAD 2014 except AutoCAD Lite. And also, Carlson comes with IntelliCAD 7.2, which has improved performance and stability. So that's something that's good for the IntelliCAD users. Also, in the toolbars, we've added 38 new toolbars into the software, and that's something that clients can pick on and use. All right, let's keep going here. If I go to points, and let me go down to my survey features here. Here we go. Something that people have been asking for a while, which is lock points. So what this allows me to do is come over here, and that's under points. It allows me to lock points so that everybody can, either use the point, or you can lock it when you give the drawing over to an engineer and you don't want them to edit any of your points, then you can lock those points. Let me show you how that works. So if I come in here, hang on one second here, points. You know what? It's got to be a SQL database here. Sorry about that. All right, to be able to lock your points, what you need to do is go to Coordinate File Utilities, and you need to, convert CRD file format, and you have to convert it to a Carlson SQ Lite, okay, L-I-T-E. So once I do that, I exit it, and now it's converted. So when I go back to points and I do lock points, I can now do a selection set. I can do areas. I can do range. I have many different options that I can do within the software. What I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and just do let's do an area. So when I pick OK, I will just window in these points right here. And it asks me, select in occlusion polyline. I don't have one. So it tells me 22 points have been locked. So if I go back to points and I hit edit points, you can see which ones are locked because they're grayed out. The ones that are active that I can edit are in white, but the grayed out ones are locked, so nobody can touch those. All right. So that is a new feature in 2014, which is something that people have been asking for. If you need to unlock points, you can do that also. By going back into the lock points, you can pick unlock, and you can do the area selection set. You could do a range where you type in 1 through 100. You could use your point groups to unlock them or lock them. So we've given you many different ranges here within points, being able to lock and unlock the points. All right, let's move on here. We also have, let's see here, I'm looking at my list here of enhancements. There's over 200 different improvements in the software. So that's something that is actually good for the end users, all the different enhancements that we have put into the software. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's see. We have some more commands inside of the points. Most of you probably already know the fixed point attribute overlap, which is good. We've got the twist points. We've got points with leaders. All right, so let's go on and let's go over to exit this, and let me turn my layer on, house plans. And if I turn that on, one of the things that I wanted to show you, let me get rid of that. All right. I've got different house plans here, and I'm not sure if some of you have actually used the draw building envelope under Kogo or the building offset extensions, but the building offset extension is where we've made our improvements. But first of all, I want to show you draw building envelope, which allows me to pick the actual house plan, and it squares it off. So it draws a box going around it. And I'm going to go ahead and do another one, which is here. And I'll do another one right here. All right. Now, here's what's new in 2014 in the building offset extensions, is we've made some improvements in it from people's request that now, if I just want a standard offset that we've done before, so let's say I start off at point number 700, I'm going to use a point elevation of 100, and I'm going to set it to create perpendicular points. So when I hit OK, it places points from an offset on each corner. Now this is how it's been in 2013, 2012. Now on this next one here, let's go to it, and let's pick it. And let's turn that off, and now when I pick OK, it's going to ask me to pick the side that I want the points on, so I'm going to pick in the front. And when I do that, it does the offset from the front there. So that is a new option for 2014. My second option over here is Kogo Building Offset Extension. I'll pick the polyline there. I'll create a second offset, so I've got 10 foot for the first, 20 feet for the second offset, and I can give that a point description. So when I pick OK, pick towards the front, it does two offsets in the front and in the back of the building. So these are new commands for 2013 under the building offset extension stakeout. All right, let's see. Let's go on over now. Let's save that. Let's go up to lot cleanup here. One of the improvements was made on lot cleanup. One thing that we started hearing from people that weren't using LotNet, but they were drafting it from, they got the information from somebody else, where the line work was too short or the line work overextended, and you basically needed to fix all the problems within something like this. So what we did, it's in the survey and the civil module. It's layout utilities, and it's called Cleanup Lot Network. So I go to Cleanup Lot Network, and I can either report the errors, I can do circle errors, or I can adjust the line work. I'm going to show you circle areas first, just to show you the problems that are happening with this drawing, because zoomed out, this all looks good. I've got a tolerance here that you could do a half a foot, you could do 3 feet, 5 feet, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do 1.5 feet here. I'll pick OK, window this in, and all the red circles show me that there's a problem somewhere. So if I zoom in here, if you look, this line overextends this line. If I go over to this one, it shows me that it doesn't touch. These are the problems that we have in our industry as far as dealing with lots and problems with lots not, closing, or you're able to get an area because it doesn't touch completely, or when you do a distance on this, it's giving you the wrong distance because it's either too short or it's too long. Now, if you notice, I've got them all over the project here. So if I rerun this command, but this time I tell it to fix everything. So I'm going to tell it to adjust the line work. I'll pick OK. I'll window everything in, and it's done. So it tells me it fixed 8 of 8 overshots and 13 of 13 undershots. So if I go back in here, this line now connects right to that line. So that has been fixed. If I go to this one here, which was an undershot, now that's extended out. Now, if I wanted to pick on it to show you the grips, because it actually did like an extend like AutoCAD does, and it did not add an extra vertice there for you. Okay, I think that's important for you guys, because you don't want to annotate something and it only gives you that segment and then you have another smaller segment. So it basically does an AutoCAD extend is what this does to be able to fix this line work. I feel like this is a command here that is going to be very beneficial to just about everybody that deal with lots. And from what I'm seeing and hearing from clients, there's being a lot more lots being worked on right now, which is good for our industry. All right, so we're going to go over to another command under layout utilities, and you guys may not have used layout utilities very much under area layout, but there's a lot of good commands in there. There's parking, so if you need to lay in parking striping, you can do that. But another new one, so cleanup lot line work is brand new in 2014. Footprint Creator is brand new for 2014. What this allows you to do is come in here and you can configure, so you can, where you need to grab your information from. You can pick your model data file, so there's a file you need to create. You can come in here and pick your elevation data file. You can create that. But then what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you can come in and modify these things as far as what's the code, the name, the abbreviation, the color. So there's some setup for building plans that you can do. Now, if I had, I could select different models, but for this one I only have Edgemont. But if I had another one, I could hit the drop list and grab it. What this allows me to do is also pick the elevation, because some elevations you may not have a bay window up front. In another elevation you have a bay window with a front porch. So you have an option there. You can also go left side or right side on the garage. So when I pick next, I come in here, I'm going to pick plot plan. So when I hit next here, it's going to come in here and it grabs my porch and it has my driveway. So I'm going to tell it to create footprint. And I'm going to insert this into the drawing. So when I pick here, you can see that I can move this around so it makes sure that it fits into that lot. Once it does that, I have a 1 foot offset here of the building pad that I set up so that I make sure that it does fit in the property. If I do another one, I could tell it right side. I'd pick on it, pick here, and now if you look, the garage is on the other side here. So this allows me to pick the home builders' drawings or houses. A lot of home builders will pick 4 or 5 houses to place into a subdivision. This allows you very quickly to be able to take those and make sure that they will fit on that lot if that lot setbacks are too much that a certain house wouldn't fit in. So that's a new command in 2013, which is Footprint Creator. All right, let's keep going here. Now let's go to Mill Creek here, and the one thing about this project here, it's got 3D piping in here with storm sewer structures that came from Carlson Hydrology. They're all in 3D. They're cylinders. Now, if I go into the civil module, so I'm switching out of survey, I'm going into civil, and I'm going to go to surface, and I'm going to go to 3D views, surface 3D flyover. I've got this set up so it's going to pick a 10. I'm going to do my free flight, but I'm also going to select my entities. So when I pick select entities, I grab everything here. I pick OK. I'm going to start it right here at this location, and I'll pick my 10 file. Now, this looks pretty normal as far as what you've seen in the past. But one thing we've done is this surface over here. If I drag this over, I can transparent. I can see the pipe underneath the road. You can see the color change there. So if I want something like right there, and I hit run, I can see what this pipe looks like while I'm driving through this. Because if I just had it at what it looked like in years past, this is what it would look like right here. This actually shows me my structures underneath. This is a really good enhancements that the programming staff did to be able to show things in 3D and have them transparent underneath the surface so that you can see the 3D information. I think this is something that's going to be critical for checking for conflicts, being able to look and see where structures are at. So even if you got these pipes from field to finish that I showed you earlier, you'd still be able to see those pipes underneath the surface. So this is a new command that's over here so that you're able to see the transparent surfaces there. All right, let's keep on going. Go to road network. All right, in the civil module, we've made some improvements with the draw profile. We've added some commands inside of here. We've put in here to design sewer pipe profile. We've had the input edit sewer pipe profile in there. In the design template, we've done some offsets inside of here. So if I pull up one of the roads, I can actually I can do some offsets here so I can get the islands put in properly. So that's something that's new that's in the software. One of the big things that we've done is inside a road network. So if I pull it up, if you notice, it looks different. We've kind of made it more modern. It may take a little bit, just a little bit to get used to, but it's one of those things where it's very similar to what it was before. It's just, you know, the add command, the edit, remove, reset. You've got your settings box, which you can set up exactly what you've had before. Pretty much all of this is the same there. So just the box itself looks a little different. Now, one of the things that I want to do here is if I pick on this, I can bring up this roadway. And what I've done in this roadway here is I'm using a template series file. So I'm using multiple templates to go through this project. Now, in this project here, it's got 90-degree line work for like parking spaces, for on-site parking on a road. And we've had trouble in the past in the corners, and I'll show you once I run through this. And I've actually set this up to grab the template point center lines. And I've got an island right here in the middle. So what I was talking about is this area right here has been a problem in the past, but in 2014 that's been fixed. So that now when you do it, it actually designs it and it lays it in properly, even though it's perpendicular to the center line of the roadway. So that is a new enhancement in the software, which is great. Also with islands now, and it's not on this one, but we can cross over the center line now and then be able to come back across the center line. Now this is good for left turn lanes. I believe we'll be the first people to be able to do this, is to be able to lay out a left turn lane, design it, and it crosses the center line. So for civil engineers and designers on roadways, that is huge to be able to do that, because you're seeing more and more left turn lanes that cross over the center line, so you're not having to manually edit that. Let's go ahead and go to the 3D viewer window and let's take a look at this. Let's shade this in. If you look at this area, you can see that I've got my island here. Like I said, this one didn't cross over, but it's one of those things that I should have used another example to be able to cross over and show you that. But we'll probably do another webinar just to show you that part of the software. And we plan on having several more webinars showing the products. And you can see how it went up into that corner correctly. So that's one of the new things in the software for RoadNet, is being able to handle those corners and be able to handle islands that cross the center line. All right, let's exit out of that. We've made quite a few enhancements in the draw profile and plan and profile sheets. We've added quite a few settings inside of there so you can customize that more. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but now when I run, let's say, Surface 3D Viewer, that it's separate from CAD now, so that I can be in CAD or I can be in here and I can look at stuff. One of the other things that we've done with this is now we have model. So if I exit out of this, and let's say I would have ran 3D viewer window, and we go to model, I have models is all new. Everything in the model part is new inside of the 3D viewer or the surface viewer. What I can do here is right mouse click, and I can hit add surface, and I can add any surface I want to this site. So if I want to add, let's say, proposed or existing, I can do that. So that's something here that I can add a surface now back to when I triangulate, or if I just have a bunch of objects that I want to pick. So that's a nice tool there. We can also we can bring in information, or we can turn off certain layers in here that if I need to freeze a layer, I can freeze it, like centerline. If I pick it, I can freeze that layer off. If I want to pick island, I can freeze that off. Text, there's text in here. There's 3D faces that I can turn on and turn off. And then here's all the layers right here that I can just come down here and I can turn those off. So the model now has a lot more capability on viewing your surface than you've ever had before. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and exit that. And let me see here. We're doing on time. We're at about 12:30 right now. Okay. Some other features that we have put into the software are if you're working with a section file, that we can now extend the actual section. So so you can kind of you can report the area of a surface of a section. You can calculate section volumes, which we've had before. We just added different we added another cross section method in there in the software. And then we can in the profiles we can actually draw single manholes in the profiles for you in that. And let me see. But guys, I mean, that's what I had today to be able to show you some things in the software. Of course, there are just lots of different commands in the software, little things that, you know, offset. We added a new medium offset inside of the edit command. Like I said, there's just tons of different things that we've just put into the software for 2014.